All right. So our task today was to help our grandmother with stock valuation. She has 500,000 and we're investing into different types of bonds to see which one has the highest after-tax return rate. For me, my my main thing was just understanding, okay, see which one has the highest after-tax return rate. For me, my my main thing was just understanding, okay, which tax return rate. All right. So our task today was to help our grandmother with stock valuation. She has 500,000 and we're investing into different types of bonds to see which one has the highest after-tax return rate. For me, my my main thing was just understanding, okay, which tax return rate does best. And so going through these, I had Gemini explain how these work, like sort of the return rate. So like when interest rates go down, uh what happens when interest rates go down, what happens when interest rates go up. And which which ones are like the most aggressive and the least aggressive, right? Since our grandmother is she's older, she's risk averse. We don't want to have her in like the riskiest ones. So we she wouldn't be making as much, but she'd be making a steadier income. Okay. So at first, the first thing I told her to do was just uh, sort of go through the bond rates and all that. And then I had it explain to me how the rates increase. And so what it was saying was when interest rates rise, the price of existing bonds rise and lower coupon rates typically fall. Just going back through what we went through in class, making sure I understood it correctly. And so and so it was saying bonds with longer maturity are more sensitive to changes in rates. Um, and because we're locked into an existing rate for longer. And so that basically means that, okay, we got this when the rate was low, we're going to make less money. Um, than if our rate was high and we're making more money over that time. Uh, but if we have a shorter time horizon, we can say sell one of our bonds, and then we'll get a new one at this higher rate, and we might make more, or the interest rates might go or interest rates might go up again, and we might still be making less than we could have. Um, and so like the price sensitivity, how it works is bond, or at least that's how I understood it. And so what he explains is that the bonds with lower coupons rates are more sensitive to changes in rates. And so a larger portion of the coupon returns from the repayment of principal changes in interest have a greater impact on present value than a lump sum in the future. So basically, how I understood it is correct in saying like the present value that we have now could be higher if we'd gotten a higher interest rate. Because even if we get that same even if we get that same lump sum payment in the future, our same payout for this bond, the payout could have been greater. The present value of the money that we used to buy the bond would have been greater if our interest rate was higher. And so I had to explain once again our bond options. So for option A, they're considered highly sensitive due to their long term, but due to low credit risk, they are uh oh no. Due to low credit risk, there is a notable decrease in the price of a long term treasury bond. Uh, sensitivity depends on maturity, higher credit risk. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I was correct. So our treasury bonds is our lowest risk ones. Our corporate bond is is a higher risk one, highest risk, I believe. And then the no, oh no, lower yield, it's not lower risk. And then the municipal bond is in the middle, right? So what I asked it to do, I asked it to develop the interest rate recommendation, but I tried to go off. I'm gonna open that later. I haven't taken a look at that yet because I want to go based off my understanding. Um, So based off what we were saying, our grandmother she's risk averse, she's 68, and she needs a steady income. So we're not looking for something that gives her a bunch of money later in life. We're looking for something that gives her a decent amount of money semi-annually. So we were looking at these first two um simply because she needs that steady income, right? So my recommendation. Oh, and the other thing I had it look at, these are the explanations of its considerations and the considered waiting periods. We'll go through that later. But what I based my recommendations off of were these final yields, right? So we have a risk averse person, so we do want a large amount in the treasury bonds. And after that, we want at least half in the treasury bonds. I believe a little bit more than half. Let's say 65% in the treasury bonds. That leaves us with 35% left to mess around with. After that, I'd say we go, since we've already taken care of our main main semi-annual source of income in that treasury bond. We're pretty risk averse. What we can do with the rest of this is hope she gets a bigger return on these municipal bonds. So I'm going to say 20% into the municipal bonds and 15% into this Apple corporate bond. Since the Apple corporate bond does give us a bit more to does give us those semi-annual returns. It will give us more towards that steady income, and then this corporate bond can sort of be our rainy day fund, our sort of for black swans events and all of that. Okay, so now I'm going to take a look at the AI's predictions for these bonds. And what our AI says is that the mix averse for it says option A is a generally considered very safe in terms of credit risk, but highly sensitive to interest rates, which could lead to price volatility, and it might not be ideal for someone for focusing on rising rates unless held to maturity. And the thing is, we don't know if she can hold it to maturity since she is older. So I would probably need to make a change in that recommendation, maybe more towards the other bonds. And for our corporate bond, it offers higher tax or higher after tax yield, but comes with more credit risk and is sensitive to interest rate changes and could decrease in rate rises. And the fourth carries some credit risk, but it's a California resident in a high tax bracket might make the returns very attractive. So given the total nature of it, it says that the option C is recommended. So my evaluation was wrong. I thought that since we're going after that steady income, that semi-annual thing would be the best for us. But apparently option C, where we're having that tax exempt status, is our best thing, which makes sense when you think about it, because if you have 500,000 to invest, you're probably in a pretty high tax bracket. And so we're doing that is because it provides the highest yield. And so the specific maturity is considered the integrate risk. And oh no, this is our rationale. At age 68, the focus is on generating reliable income, and higher after tax yield supports this. Option A is credit free, but has lower tax yield and is less attractive to maximizing the outcome. And option B has higher after tax yield, but is still subject to federal tax. Okay. Well, so in conclusion, my recommendation was wrong simply because I didn't take into account that we are taking this after tax. I was going for this steady income, and it says it comes in semi-annually for those two. So it would be more leaning towards the 65 on the municipal bond, 20 on the corporate, and 15 on the 15 on the treasury bond. Thank you.